Hello, hi guys, welcome back to the Football Showdown channel. Today we are back analyzing another player who's been linked to Arsenal. Now, Arsenal have gotten this famous name Linked FC for a reason. Why? Because we've been linked to half of the players who have done really well in the Euros, in Copa America, and obviously the previous concluded season. Today, to speak more about this player who's been known for his aura in recent times, I have a special guest as always. But before we get to that part, I have a small message for all you guys out there. If you guys are not yet subscribed, please keep subscribing to the channel as we're trying to hit that 500 mark as soon as possible. We're doing all the right things by putting quality content for all you guys out there. We're informing you in the best possible ways as well. So please, we deserve a little bit help from you guys. So keep subscribing, keep liking, keep commenting, and keep sharing this content as we're trying to build a huge community for the future. Well then, today let's talk about the player who's been linked to Arsenal. He is famously known for his aura, and that's all I know, right? As majority of the fans know him only for his aura, but let's just call upon today's special guest, Arush. How are you, man?
I'm doing great.
Right. Before we talk about the player that we've been wanting to talk for a while, small thing. Did you watch the Switzerland versus Italy game? Did you expect that outcome? To be honest.
I did expect it because of the campaign in the group stages that Italy have had, and Switzerland
Hmm.
have been very, very, very good this season under the coach.
Hmm.
So it was coming. Plus, they've not utilized their squad at its best use. Like
Right.
they've benched out Jorginho in most of those games and all.
Hmm.
So it was coming.
Right, right. I mean, even I expected Italy to crash out against Switzerland because I think Switzerland are much more equipped and much more like structured in the way that they play, and they're very very good at dissecting the midfield and making sure that they can play really well. We have seen this even in the 2020 Euro when they played against France. That was probably the first time. If you're an Arsenal fan watching this, that's probably the first time you have seen Xhaka play in that position that we've seen him progress really well for Arsenal later on, and now by Leverkusen. But anyways, speaking of that Switzerland versus Italy game, there's that one player who's been missing in that defense. Who's that?
So the person we're going to analyze as well, it's Riccardo Calafiori.
Exactly. Like I said, I know him only as a guy who has aura. But if you guys remember, he even had that moment during lockdown time where a ball boy was handing him the ball, but he was trying to waste time. This is all that I know about him. Being very honest about it. But Arush, give us a small intro about him.
Yeah, so as we know, he's the same guy who had started his career from AS Roma, then went to Genoa, and then Switzerland for FC Basel.
Hmm.
So last season, he actually had a recent surge which came simultaneous with Thiago Motta's Bologna,
Hmm.
which have managed to also get Champions League qualifications
Hmm.
and surprised many with the tactical football and eye-pleasing football that they play. So obviously, we've heard a lot of Calafiori's aura, his impressive footballing abilities, and his comparisons to the very greats after this Euro campaign that he had
Hmm.
under
Hmm.
Spalletti for Italy. Maybe Maldini, maybe Nesta, maybe Cannavaro, maybe any of these guys. He's got that presence in him that naturally makes you feel that yes, this guy is the guy.
Hmm.
So yeah, he often tucks in as the left centre back, and he can also quite comfortably feature at left back
Hmm.
where he uses his versatility, he has impressive agility to be fair because his body is very very agile,
Hmm.
and defensively he makes that he makes that chaos as a defender
Hmm.
that makes you want this player, and he's one of those front-footed defenders that you will actually aim for in the side, which is like Arsenal.
Hmm. Right. Um, he's from Italy, so I'm expecting a lot of technical abilities that he has. He's from Italy, so that means he is a lot more present when it comes to like winning duels and all that. So, what are his general strengths that is like that can be found by analysts like you, and that can be missing from a common eye like mine?
Yeah, so let's start by breaking this down into the different strengths that he has. So, playing for Bologna, being an Italian, obviously build up is something that they prefer
Hmm.
because control and domination under Thiago Motta is something that is very echoed.
Hmm.
So, Calafiori's job as a defender is to have the maintain composure, maintain the calmness in progressing the ball, making the build up, play passes, even sustaining pressure when they have the pressure instilled on them.
Right.
So his ball carrying ability at these times is one of his finest skills, and we've seen that in majority of the comps we've seen of him. So to put this in place about his defending, a very famous saying in defense is the best source of attack. So a role of a modern day all phase defender that every manager would want is to have the ability to be as offensive as they are defensively. So Calafiori's ball carrying ability, like I said, it has the potential to become his zone of interest. It can be his best skill that can he can utilize in his side. So he can use his technical abilities, his ball manipulation, and also he likes to take on players from his own half and carry the ball further forward. So
Right.
being a modern day centre back, it's obvious that he can maintain an effective high line, and this is valued by many coaches, where he can combine his athletic pace and also his positional awareness to seek out the danger in the back line. So when given the freedom higher up the pitch, he can show his vision, he can show his creativity. He likes playing passes to the opposite flanks, maybe dink the ball to the opposite flank, or even break channels, carry the ball for a bit longer than usual, which helps him actually rack up goals and assists. So, like I said, he's a very front-footed defender. He's had a very brilliant campaign, to be honest. Although not he's not started many of the games. He started half of the games, but his influence on the passage of play has always been there. He's managed to have he's managed to finish the season in the league with 2 goals and 5 assists, and he's been ranked very highly for key passes and crosses into the box. So now when we talk about his defensive prowess, it's just not related and restricted to his ground duels, but also his aerial duels, where he's dominated most of the charts. So to put this in place, he's won 71% of his aerial duels, and he's ranked in the
Okay.
93rd percentile in Europe. And being a defender, recoveries, starting, recycling position is also important. So he's averaged 7.47 recoveries per 90, making him the best centre back in Serie A to do this. So
Right.
he's actually perfect in positioning himself and intercept the ball, because this speaks highly of his IQ. That, like you said, Italians are known for their technical abilities. So
Yeah.
he's very good at recycling the ball. So broadly, these statistics just speak about how complete he is in winning the ball as a defender, and also how physical he is, how he uses his IQ, and how he can transcend his defensive abilities into his attacking play.
Well, it's genuinely interesting, and a lot of, like, a lot of information that you've told us. But um, so the one thing that people love to do in this day and age is compare him or compare players, right? Like
Yeah.
when Arsenal defend, they're always compared to how good they are when compared to City, or when they're compared to even Liverpool's defense. Do you have such a comparison that you can compare him with, to actually tell us how good he is or his kind of ability?
So yeah, there's always talk about a player's qualities in comparison to the other player, how he built up from that, watching that player. So Calafiori's style of play, I'll say, is quite identical to Croatia's Josko Guardiola, because they both are elite technicians of the game, and they use their body, and they have that very aggressive nature in winning the ball, and they're very good on the ball in the possession-based side. So that being one comparison, I have another comparison where I'm in a long term basis, if he manages to build his zone of interest as a quality center back or a defender who wants to transcend into the midfield, he could actually invert from center back or left back and advance into a midfield role, something that Pep has done with John Stones, and Pep has done with Akanji now recently for City. So these are some comparisons, I think, and he's also mentioned John Stones to be one of his idols
Uh,
in the positions that he plays. So yeah, I do think these are fair comparisons that I'm making.
when compared to George Stones and Guardiola, it's it's actually very interesting. But it's all really interesting. Like, the strengths are like crazy. The comparisons that you said, that he might be as good as Guardiola, or even better than John Stones. Uh, does he have some weaknesses? I mean, obviously he does, but like, I'm sure it won't be that much, right?
Yeah, to be fair, there's not actually much in terms of improvement in
Hmm.
his gameplay,
Hmm.
but obviously, leading a high line, he'll need to maintain the temperament in staying refined to the positions, knowing his surroundings. So, obviously, mistakes do happen.
Hmm.
And he's also quite aggressive in nature in terms of winning the ball back,
Hmm.
could end up making some fouls. And which we saw in the videos, he missed the key game, which was the qualification game, which was because of a yellow card. So
Hmm.
it
Hmm.
at times aggressive nature can be a problem. I'm not saying it is a problem. Being a defender, it is very good, but
Hmm.
at times it can be a problem.
Hmm. Fair. Now the big question that I've been asking about every player that we've been linked to: how good can he be at Arsenal? Now there are two things. One thing, he's from Bologna, and we already have a defender who plays for us after playing for Bologna. Second thing, we missed, we're missing a good player who's wearing a hairband. Last time we had someone with a headband was Bellerin, right? These two fit in for sure, but as a player, how does he fit into the Arsenal system? Do you think he'll be good enough, or do you think he'll elevate the team to finally lift the trophy after 21 years? How do you think he'll fit in at Arsenal?
Yes, so for Arsenal, I do think at this point he's going to join Arsenal as a left back, not as a left centre back.
Hmm.
Why? Because it's obvious that Arsenal have been linked to a left back this window,
Hmm.
and it's no surprise that Calafiori can play that role for Arsenal.
Right.
So what he gives Arsenal is that he is a left-footed left back,
Hmm.
which is major going in terms of the window.
Hmm.
And Arsenal are looking for someone who is very good on the ball and
Hmm.
that can actually break lines and carry the ball, and also help benefit Arsenal's left-hand side, which hasn't been up to the mark last season.
Hmm.
So what I think will happen is he would inherit what Ben White is doing on the right side to
Ah.
the left hand side, get the left wing more to progress into the game, help Martinelli, help Trossard, help whoever the left winger is. He
Hmm.
can actually partake in attacks because he's very good at in his offensive play. So
Hmm.
he can actually make overlapping, underlapping runs,
Hmm.
which can actually benefit the left winger who will have someone else, someone additional to feed off
Hmm.
to break the channels and also to create additional space for himself. So
Hmm.
I do think that is something that's going to happen. But with the scenario that we have at Arsenal, the left backs we have maybe Julian Timber, we have Tomiyasu, we have Zinchenko, we have Kivior. We don't know how many of these guys are going to stay at the club
Hmm.
and who's not. But this also gives Arsenal a very unique route, and it gives various options to actually assess a game scenario in where we can deploy each one for different roles, because
Hmm.
Tomiyasu is very good in 1v1 duels. Zinchenko whenever we need control,
Hmm.
Timber also whenever we need control.
Hmm.
Kivior, I don't know what, but Calafiori is good.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
he has the abilities actually to be a of Gabriel, I'd say, because
Hmm.
I've said this in my Jorel Hato piece as well. But he does have the capabilities. And
Hmm.
also, if I mean, I know you are active on Twitter. We've seen lots of posts on Twitter about the technical backline of Timber, Ben
Hmm.
White, Saliba, and Calafiori being in talk. So this is actually a potential all-timer in football. Why? Because these profiles can actually build a squad. These
Hmm.
profiles help the efficacy in build-up, and they also have
Hmm.
the ball prowess that Arsenal would want. And Arsenal is a team which is building a side with all four centre backs playing in the line, who can actually
Hmm.
tuck into midfield.
Hmm.
So, not saying that this is any disrespect to Gabriel. He's had a wonderful season. Yes, he's going to play there. I mean, he's wonderful, obviously, but we're thinking of the future as well. So, being
Right.
technically, this is someone we would actually aim for, because he's an actual
Hmm.
super freak athlete, I'll say, because he's a dream to have in any side, because his all phase abilities and his ranking both offensively and defensively is
Hmm.
quite ridiculous, I'll say.
Hmm.
And obviously you can't miss out on someone's aura that everyone's talking about. We can't let any other side have the aura. So
Right.
his
Right.
footballing abilities obviously make sense,
Hmm.
and we've been one of the clubs being linked to. Chelsea's just copying what we do, so it's
Right.
obvious.
Right. Right. Um. It's it is it is someone. I mean, from what it I'm lost for words. Because the way you explain the entire his strengths, you took some time to explain about it, and generally you don't take that much time to explain the strengths because people are kind of obvious of what he is and what he is not. But
I'm impressed. I'm actually impressed with the spell he's had, and I
exactly.
actually thought that Hato would be my player going into the summer as a left back to sign and build upon.
Hmm.
But to be honest, Calafiori is just making me question everything, because
Hmm.
in the list I had for players,
Hmm.
Hato was there as number two, I think, in
Hmm.
the summer at to sign. But Calafiori has just been there, and he's someone who could actually come into the side now and make a difference, not in the long term. So I
Facts.
think that is what Arsenal need more at this point.
We need, yeah, that's true. That's true. We need someone who can create a difference right now because we're trying to win the league right now. If you said that 2 years back, okay, fine. In 2 years we're going to win. I get it, but last year we were so close. We lost on the last day. Last year we lost. Okay, three games before. That is because of our complete inexperience, but a lot of injuries also played a factor to it. But this time I think whoever we sign needs to be the person who creates an impact right now. Guys, this has been an amazing piece. I hope you guys support it because he is a player with a lot of potential to help Arsenal. But before I wrap up the video, Arush, any final words regarding this or in anything general football?
Yeah, if this extensive piece of video doesn't support you, I've got a piece on me again. So
Definitely, guys. I will obviously link all the threads that Arush has been putting up. Actually, you know what? He has a Twitter. He has a Twitter post where he puts up all his threads under it. So I will link that as well in case you.
it's my pinned post.
Exactly. So I will put that as well. So in case you guys want to read his other threads as well, it's definitely there in the description. Do check that out as well. That's it. That's it. Well, that's it from us, guys. It's been a great video. We'll definitely make more videos as we have been linked to every person, every good player on this planet. So yeah, do watch out. Do keep subscribing, like how I've asked you before. Do keep liking, do keep commenting, and do keep sharing this content as we're trying to build a good, fruitful, and a beautiful community for all the people out there. Until we see you guys soon. Till then, good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you're in the world. Peace.